ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, the prayers of the personified Vedas. Text 35. Okay. Bhuvi puru panya tirtha sadanan rushayo vimadas taut bhavat padam bujahrudo bhida angri jalaha dadhati sakrun manastvai atmani nitya sukhe na punarupasate purushasarharavasathan bhuvi puru punyatirtha sadanan rushayo vimadas taut bhavat padambujahrudo ghabidangrijalaha dadhati sakrun manastvai ya atmani nitya sukhe na punarupasate purushasarharavasathan bhuvi puru punyatirtha sadanan rushayo vimadas taut bhavat padambujahrudo ghabhidangrijalaha dadhati sakrun manastvai atmani nitya sukhe na punarupasate purushasarharavasathan somebody. Somebody? Taut bhavat pudajo angrivantasandhyaha dadhati sakrun manastvai atmani nitya sukhe Mataji's. Bhuvi puru punyatirtha sadananusayo vimadas taut bhavat padambujahrudo दधति शकृन्मनस्त्वयि आत्मनि नित्यसुखे. Word to word translation. Bhuvi, on the earth. Puru, greatly. Punya, pious. Tirtha, places of pilgrimage. Sadanani, the personal abodes of the Supreme Lord. Rishayaha, sages. Vimadaha, free from false pride. Te, they. Uta, indeed. Bhavat, your. Pada, feet. Ambuja, lotus. Hridaha, in whose hearts. Agha, sins. Bhita, which destroys. Angri, having bathed whose feet. Jalaha, the water. Dadhati, turns. Sakrit, even once. Manaha, their minds. Tvai, towards you. Ye, who. Atmani, towards the Supreme Soul. Nitya, always. Sukhe, who is happy. Na punaha, never again. Upasate, they worship. Purusha, of a man. Sara, the essential qualities. Hara, which steals away. Avasthan, their mundane homes. Translation and purport by the servant of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Sages free from the false pride live on this earth by frequenting the sacred pilgrimage sites, and those places where the Supreme Lord displayed His pastimes. Because such devotees keep your lotus feet within their hearts, the water that washes their feet destroys all sins. Anyone who even once turns his mind towards you, the ever blissful soul of all existence, no longer dedicates himself to serving family life at home, which simply robs a man of his good qualities. Purport. The qualification of an aspiring sage is that he has learned about the absolute truth from standard authorities and developed a sober mood of renunciation. To develop his capacity for discriminating the important from unimportant, such a person often wanders from one holy site to another, taking advantage of the association of great souls who frequent or reside in these places. If in the course of his travel, the aspiring sage can begin to realize the Supreme Lord's lotus feet in the core of his heart, he will be released from the illusion of false ego and from the painful bondage of lust, envy and greed. Though he may still go to places of pilgrimage to bathe away his sins, the now purified sage has the power to sanctify others with the water that washes his feet and with the realized instructions he imparts. Such a sage is described by the Mundaka Upanishad. Bhidyate hridaya granthis chidyate sarva samshayah kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drushte paravare. The knot in the heart is pierced, all misgivings are cut to pieces, and the chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees the Supreme Lord everywhere, within all superior and inferior beings. To sages who have reached this stage, the Mundaka Upanishad thus pays homage. Namaha param rishayaha, namaha param rishayaha. Obeisances to the topmost sages. Obeisances to the topmost sages. Putting aside the affectionate company of wives, children, friends, and followers, saintly Vaishnavas travel to the holy dhams where the Supreme Lord worship can be most successfully prosecuted. Places such as Vrindavan, Mayapur, and Jagannath Puri, or anywhere else where sincere devotees of Lord Vishnu congregate. Even those Vaishnava who have not taken sannyas and still live at home or in their guru's ashram, but who have once tasted just a drop of the sublime pleasure of devotional service, will also have little inclination to meditate on the pleasures of the materialistic family life, which robs a person of his discretion, determination, sobriety, tolerance, and peace of mind. Srila Sridhar Swami prays, Munchan anga tad anga sangam anisham tvam iva sanchintyam santah santi yato gad madastan ashraman avasan nityam tan mukha pankajad vigalita tvaya punya gathamrita strotah samplava sampluto narahare nasyam aham dehabhrit. My dear Lord, when I will give up all sense gratification and engage incessantly in meditating upon you, and when I will take up residence in the hermitages of saintly devotees, free from false pride, then I will become fully immersed in the inundation of nectar pouring from the devotees' lotus mouths as they chant sacred narrations about you. And then, O Lord Narahari, I will never again have to take a material body. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, we are just discussing about this wonderful prayers of the personified Vedas. So, before I begin, I would like to take the blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas and all of you so that we can discuss this wonderful topics regarding the glories of Supreme Lord and His devotees. So, this translation of this 35th shloka, sages free from false pride live on this earth by frequenting the sacred pilgrimage sites and those places where the Supreme Lord displayed his pastimes. Because such devotees keep your lotus feet within their hearts, the water that washes their feet destroys all sins. Anyone who even once turns his mind towards you, the ever blissful soul of all existence, no longer dedicates himself to serving family life at home, which simply robs a man of his good qualities. So when I was thinking about what to speak about this shloka, I was remembering this one pastime. Prabhupada had brought all his white dancing elephants from US, and then he was touring the Indian continent. And when he was touring in India, many places he will go. And Prabhupada was so excited and proudly he will show all this disciple, because that was like a historical in the history of whole Bharatvarsha, that something like that has happened, that one sage from India has gone and then brought so many foreign Vaishnavas. So one devotee, our His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, was there in one of the tour like this. And then Prabhupada gave class, and then to his surprise, he asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj also to speak. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj was not prepared what to speak. He had no idea what is this crowd, what he is supposed to speak. But then suddenly the mic came in his hand. So then he just prayed to Prabhupada, and then what he spoke? He just glorified Prabhupada for half an hour, that what he has done and how wonderful he is. And Prabhupada was very happy about, because he described how Prabhupada has transformed the whole world practically. So, whenever we have to speak, if we just speak about Prabhupada, that completes everything. We don't have to go here, there. The purpose of any speech is to transform the hearts of hearers. And if you just speak about Prabhupada, that is sufficient, sure enough to transform the hearts of any person who hears. So today also I thought, because this verse also is about the pure devotees who are described here, that how they are so powerful and then such purifying ability they have, that just by their touch, by their presence, by their speech, Jai Shri SriRadhaRasbihari ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gaunitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So we see here that just by hearing, just by being in the association, just by remembering, just by hearing from them, person gets thoroughly purified, and his doors to the liberation opens. So in this whole purport, some of the effects of such purifying potency of such pure devotee are mentioned. The purport starts with the qualification of an aspiring sage is that he has learned about the absolute truth from standard authorities and develop a sober mood of renunciation. So, aspiring sage, here it says that two things are there. One, he has learned about the absolute truth from standard authorities. That from standard Vaishnava Guru, he has heard about the spiritual subject matter. And Prabhupada says this, that when Prabhupada used to hear from his spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada was telling that his language was so so difficult to understand. Very so very difficult. But then he was telling that more I used to hear, I could see that the doors of spiritual world were opening. So that's how that when we hear from the authorized source, that is the first qualification of aspiring sage. And second, he says, develop a sober mood of renunciation. That we are here to develop a mood of renunciation when we are, because as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified by Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, he says these two things, Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yogam, that to teach this Krishna consciousness and detachment from this material world, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come. So here this says Tirtha Sadanani, that same Bhagavatam also describes at other place. Bhavadvidha Bhagavataha Tirtha Bhutam Swayam Prabho Tirthikurvanti Tirthani Swantasthena Gadabhrutaha. So it says that those devotees who have captured and make the Lord seated in their own hearts become so powerful and so potent to purify even the tirtha, the holy places. People generally go to tirthas to get washed of their sins. But the pure devotees, when they go to tirtha kshetra, they wash others' sins. Not only other sins, they purify the tirtha itself. Because tirtha is dumped with so much of garbage of sins by other people coming there. When pure devotee goes there, people there, they are purified and the tirth itself is purified. So tirthi kurvanti tirthani. That's how the devotees are glorified. This is how Yudhishthir Maharaj is glorifying Vidura. That the good self like you travel all over the world, but then you carry the tirtha, the most purifying agent, the Supreme Lord in the heart, and because of that, everywhere that effect is there. And we can see that wherever Prabhupada traveled has become a tirtha. Today also devotees with so much of reverence, anybody who has gone to America, surely he visits Tompkinson Square Park, surely he visits the 26th 2nd Avenue, and because these are the places which are made by Prabhupada's personal presence, his activities there. So we see that even the New York, San Francisco, London has become tirtha just because Prabhupada touched it. So we see the purifying effect of such pure devotees. And here it says that to develop his capacity for discriminating the important and unimportant, such a person often wanders from one holy site to another, taking advantage of the association of great souls who frequent or reside in these places. So, aspiring sage also travels to different places to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is important and what is not important. Because in this world, sometimes we know what is important, but then we fail to understand something greatly important than that. So that's how in English they say that sometimes good becomes enemy of best. People are so goody-goody that they reject the best, that is devotional service to the Supreme Lord. And we can see this. It looks very nice, but then this is one type of ignorance only. I still remember where we go in Shirdi area for programs, one of our congregation devotee was telling this, that one man after his retirement got some 50 lakh rupees as his, PF, and then he was so happy, and he was like a government. What happened is he got a dengue, and then when he visited a doctor, doctor said that it's little serious, better you get admitted. The first question generally people ask before admission is, how much cost? So he asked, kitna kharcha hoga? He said, every day you have to pay 1,500, and how many days? He said 10 days minimum, because things keeps going up and down. So he calculated 15,000. He said, that is too much. He said, I'll get back to you. And then he went home, and then he started for some shortcut, that what can be done to save this 15,000 rupees. So saving money is very nice. But then one of his friend gave him advice that, see, 2 homes from you only, one nurse stays there. He says you take advice of that nurse, and then home only you do all your treatment. By that you will only pay for saline. In home only you put saline. So he was so happy because 15,000 were getting saved. And then he took help of that lady who was working in one hospital, and then he made his home only into kind of a room of hospital, and then put saline and things like that. So that was going on for 5-6 days. But then his health suddenly started going down. And it happened that after 8 days he died at home because of that dengue, which was not properly treated. So successfully he saved 15,000 rupees, and successfully he left, like that. So very intelligently he became fool, number one. So he didn't understand the value of his life and value of this 15,000 rupees. So similarly, in this world also, people, they feel that if they are happy, that's what the success of life is. And that understanding of that happiness in this material world, that itself robs them of what best they can achieve, that is Krishna consciousness. So when Prabhupada asked one of the reporter that, why don't you come to temple? He said that I am very happy. Why I have to come? Because he thought that because he is happy, he don't need temple. Temple is needed for those who are frustrated, those who are like kind of have nothing, poor. So he said like that I am happy. So Prabhupada said, Dhobi ka gadha bhi sukhi rehta hai. Even the ass in the home of Dhobi, he is also happy. So then he understood what Prabhupada wanted to say. So when we come to temple, when we associate with great souls, we are given the best, not just good of this world. So when we are attached to good of this world, we lose opportunity to get the best. And that's how the good becomes enemy of best. But then that thing is destroyed by such ajnana. Illusion is destroyed when we come in association of devotees. So this purifying power of devotees, which is described here in translation and purport, we have just done this is total 5 things are described. So we are discussing this in one acronym, which Kriya, Kriya. So we see that K is Krishna Prem. That's what the first effect when somebody connects to pure devotees. And that connection may be insignificant connection. Not that you have to be for 1000 years with that devotee. Lava Matra. Devotees, when they were distributing books, they went to the very remote place in America, one village, because the devotee felt that we should go to such places where nobody has come and give this valuable information. So when he knocked on one door, and then one lady opened the door, and he saw that lady was so happy to meet this devotee. The lady, brought him inside, and when he went inside, first he was very surprised. Some lady in foreign inviting like this inside home, and his surprise got even bigger when he saw the altar there. And when he was almost about to faint, when he heard that this lady chants 16 rounds also and offers bhoga and things like that. So he asked, which temple you are connected? She says, no connection. He said, then how you do all these things? She said that she was a flight attendant, and by her great fortune, once somehow she took some popcorn from Prabhupada's bowl. So just having that Maha of Prabhupada few years back transformed her life without any other assistance. So we can see that when we have a touch with spiritual master, when we have touch with pure devotee, then there is an immediate opening of the heart, and this bhakti lata is very firmly established. Because we have seen that wherever Prabhupada went, just by one another devotee was telling this, that he was a captain of one ship, and then he became a devotee later on in New York. So other devotee asked that, no. So he said that how he had his first interaction with Prabhupada, where he was not even knowing who is Prabhupada. When Prabhupada was entering into Boston harbor, that was the first harbor Prabhupada went. And then Prabhupada was very eager to see. So Prabhupada went out and he was seeing the harbor. And then another ship was going. So Prabhupada waved, because that ship was going and the captain was there because he was going out. So he couldn't understand who is waving at me. So he also waved. So when Prabhupada saw some response, Prabhupada was very enthusiastic to wave, because that was his first response coming from foreign land. He had come for that only, to get responses. So, and then he went. That was like a normal day for him. And then Prabhupada went to New York. And this man again got back to New York, then came to know about this center. I started coming there and then became a nice devotee. So here we see that even just glimpse of pure devotee can become a very powerful tool to have that seed of bhakti in one's heart. So that is how the Krishna Prem sprouts in the hearts when the contact is there with pure devotee. So that is K. Then is R, renunciation. We see that is the second purifying power manifests in arousing sense of renunciation in the hearts of anybody who comes in touch with devotee. When Prabhupada was staying here in Juhu, Prabhupada, because that time there were not Prabhupada quarters or something like that. Prabhupada went where all the tenants were there. And when Prabhupada saw one person having a Madhva connection, Mr. Acharya, then he just requested him that, can they stay there? And then he was very cordial to have Prabhupada stayed in his own home. And then when he had come here for the function, he was telling that for next few days he became like a Prabhupada secretary only. He used to stand outside where so many people used to come, and then he used to guide people inside. And he was telling so many people used to come to meet Prabhupada, and so many foreigners used to come, understanding that, and he said that people used to go inside, Prabhupada used to talk to them for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And after 2-3 days, he used to see them shaven-headed, chanting, dancing. So he was telling that I was mesmerized to see that what is happening inside. Just 10 minutes, people are so transformed. So that is the power of pure devotee, that when we are in touch with, by that spiritual potency, there is a transformation in the heart. And Prabhupada was so attentive when he is dealing with anybody. This is in, if I am not wrong, this is in New York only. Prabhupada was sitting, and then one hippie came who was like little frequently coming, and he wanted to purchase Srimad Bhagavatam, because that was the only one book available, and he thought that if I can get it from the hands of Prabhupada, that will be great. So he came, he asked Prabhupada, can I have the copy? Prabhupada said, oh, yes, why not? So Prabhupada took one copy, gave to him. And then he asked how much. So Prabhupada told few dollars. So then he opened his pocket, and then he was giving the Lakshmi. So Prabhupada is so keen, so attentive, he saw that some photograph, generally people keep photograph there in the pocket. So Prabhupada saw some photograph. He says, who is that? So he became a little shy, because that photograph of his girlfriend. So he said, it's girlfriend. Prabhupada, show. So Prabhupada took it, and he saw that Mataji. And then Prabhupada said, she's not so beautiful. Our village girls in India are more beautiful than this. So that was like big shock for him. So that devotee afterwards, he was came out, he said that if Prabhupada is not liking this Mataji, then why I have to like it? So then he gave it up. So Prabhupada's liking becomes our liking. Prabhupada dislike becomes our dislikes. And because he likes Krishna, we also start liking Krishna. He dislikes sense gratification in this material world, so we also start disliking it. So that is second purifying effect, that is renunciation. And we can see this, that that this kind of attachment, as this verse also says, that it robs off one's good self, like that. And the gopis also states this in 10th canto. Tavad ragadayastena tavad karagraham graham tavan mohangri nigado yavat krishna te janaha. So they are telling that if somebody is not Krishna conscious, then the home becomes graham, kara graham. that same home which is supposed to give shelter becomes the prison house. One becomes imprisoned in life after life in this material world if somebody is not in connection with Krishna. So, tavad ragadayastenaha, that raga adi, whatever our emotions are there, they become stenaha, they become thieves. They robs you of whatever good intentions, good qualities which one has. But then we see here that by touch of a pure devotee, one becomes quickly come out of such entangling things of this world. So that is R. Third is I, which is ignorance is destroyed. This ignorance is talked by many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. Specifically in the prayers of Gajendra, Gajendra says to the Lord that, my dear Lord, this ignorance is one thing which cannot be destroyed even by Kala. Kala is so powerful that Kala can destroy big emperors, big anything, whatever is there in this world. This world is itself destroyed by Kala. But same Kala cannot destroy ignorance in the heart of living entity. That ignorance remains kalpa after kalpa. But then we see that by touch of pure devotee, that ignorance is shattered to pieces. We can imagine that even after being present, Lord himself as Paramatma, next in the heart only, that ignorance is still there. Life after life, crores of lifetimes. Lord doesn't touch it. Because Lord has given that power and responsibility to devotees. So, Lord is a storehouse. And those who are devotees, pure devotees, they are like distributors. So, if you go to purchase anything in the company where it is made, they say that we don't sell here, we just production house. If you have to take, then you have to go to the distributor. So the Lord has given this distributorship to pure devotees. So when somebody comes in touch with pure devotee, like Prabhupada, then his ajnana, the ignorance, which is impeccable, even cannot be touched by Kala himself, can be destroyed very quickly. We see that some, like generally in this world, somebody is very dull. We call him that गाली के जैसे हम बोलते हैं, बैल है क्या करके. Like, are you a bull? Because bull is considered very ignorant. He just roams around, hit by so many people, but doesn't understand what is what. But we see that one very specific historical bull Madhvacharya had, that when Madhvacharya used to give class, this bull used to attend every class, because this bull was used for carrying Madhvacharya's books. So all the devotees are there who are hearing his class. This bull also will sit and hear. And for sure enough, because he heard from Madhvacharya, what is the power? Directly hearing from Madhvacharya, so many classes. Next life he became Acharya in the same Madhva line and gave purports to all Madhvacharya's writings, which are very difficult to understand. So, the bull also became Acharya just because he heard from Acharya. So, we all have that opportunity. We have a powerful Acharya sent by the Lord Himself, and we just hear nicely, understand it, apply it on our life. We can also have the same fortune like this special bull. So, pure devotees, they destroy this ignorance in the hearts of living entity. And then next is why. That is Yoga Siddhi. By association of pure devotees, we get this Yoga Siddhi. What is Yoga Siddhi? Because people talk about so many, this yoga, that yoga, Kriya Yoga. But then the scriptures, they say, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastre Kai, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hai. Whatever perfections are there in this world, the highest perfection is to attain Krishna Prem. Highest perfection is to become servant of Krishna. So that is possible by association of pure devotees. So this is the highest liberation, that mukti hitva anyata rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. That when somebody is instilled in his original position as a supreme personality Godhead's servant, then that is considered the topmost mukti. So that mukti, which is the highest siddhi, becomes accessible to those who are associating with devotees. And so K was Krishna Prem, R was renunciation, I was ignorance destroyed, Y was Yoga Siddhi achieved, and then the last is absorption, A. So one becomes absorbed in Krishna Nam and Krishna Katha. Just by the association of pure devotee, mind generally, which is absorbed in things of this world, starts taking U-turn and getting absorbed in Krishna Katha and Krishna Nam. Because we see in this world, it's a very normal for this mind, which is like a absorbing sponge. Sponge, you keep any place, it absorbs, nearby water or whatever is there. So the absorbing capacity is there in the sponge. That is innate. So similarly, the absorbing capacity is there in everybody's mind. Wherever he roams around, he absorbs. So the sponge is kept near gutter water, it will absorb gutter water also. And when it is kept near Krishna conscious devotees, Krishna consciousness will also be absorbed. But then, when somebody is accustomed to absorb gutter water, what to do about it? Now he is accustomed. Sadhu Sangha comes to his help. When he connects to spiritual personality, pure devotee, then the same absorption which we generally have for material life, that absorption is shifted to Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam, like that. So we have seen when the San Francisco Rath Yatra was there, Prabhupada was telling in that Rath Yatra lecture. Prabhupada says, this is not some imaginative process. You can see these American boys and girls who had no idea about Krishna consciousness, about Krishna, Ram, but now they are dancing for 8 hours in Harinam. Not one day, every day. So that is not possible normally. So that is possible only by touch of a pure devotee. That one becomes eligible to absorb Krishna consciousness. or his mind immediately is turned towards Krishna consciousness. So these are the 5 powerful effects happen after being in touch with spiritual personality like Prabhupada in any way. We chant that prayer, Tulsi Maharani, that that by touching Tulsi Maharani, by watering Tulsi Maharani, by doing pradakshina to Tulsi Maharani, by paying obeisances to Tulsi Maharani, one is liberated. So same thing is there, whether you hear about Prabhupada, speak about Prabhupada, take darshan of Prabhupada, see his video, hear his classes, everything has the same effect, that this kriya happens. Krishna Prem Uday, ignorance is destroyed. Sorry, R, that is denunciation, ignorance is destroyed. Yoga Siddhi happens, liberation and absorption to spiritual substance, that is Krishna. So when we are, that's our great fortune, that by our great fortune we are just have landed in this great movement, which the soul kind of general like Prabhupada had been sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he is purifying the whole world, and he will keep purifying the whole world. And we are so fortunate to be in this place, which is like Prabhupada's heart, Juhu. So we are so fortunate. We become more fortunate by taking advantage of it. As we say that sometimes we should not be trapped in that goodness, as we started in the beginning, that sometimes good becomes enemy. So we pray to Prabhupada that we never become trapped in so goody things of this world and lose opportunity to get the best. That is Krishna himself. Hare Krishna. So any comments?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Nice Prabhupada pastimes. Once Mamsa Prabhu was narrating this pastime. Once one young girl, around 17-18-year-old girl, she joined Hyderabad temple. One day she was sleeping and then some lamp fell and her dupatta caught fire and then she was 80% burned. Then she was admitted in the hospital and then she was unconscious. Mamsa Prabhu was taking care of her in the hospital and then suddenly she got consciousness. Then she said, please take me to Mayapur. Please take me to Mayapur. Mamsa Prabhu was telling her, no, you become all right, I will take you. No, take me to Mayapur. Take me to Mayapur. Then she was saying, these people, they are not serving Krishna properly. They are not making the Bhoga plate properly. Like that, she was telling, please take me to Mayapur, like that. Then suddenly she started chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and then she left her body. Then everybody was morose. Or a young girl, what happened, such a ghastly accident and all. Then Mamsa Prabhu wrote to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, why are you morose? She has gone back to Godhead. Because she was talking about Mayapur, she is talking about Krishna's service, she chanted Hare Krishna. Then Mamsa Prabhu wrote to Prabhupada, but she is not initiated. How she can go back to Godhead? Prabhupada said, she has this faith in my instructions. That is her initiation. So, like very nicely, even Sridhar Maharaj was telling, Prabhupada would go and do some, look at somebody and then he will become a devotee. He went to ranch, that San Francisco, that nude camp. And then one guy, he was actually digging and putting potatoes. Then Prabhupada was coming, and then Prabhupada gave lecture and all. Then Prabhupada looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" Then he said, "I am putting potatoes, no, what are you doing with your life? What is this?" Then he became a devotee. He came back and joined Hare Krishna. Prabhupada is like that. Anyway, very nicely described, but I have some objection. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanancha Dahitikam. When you start performing devotional service, first Vairagya and Jnana, they come. But you are saying, Krishna Prem will come. All this acronym and all, they are okay. But how it is possible Krishna Prem will come first? It should come in the end after doing all this. When ignorance is destroyed, renunciation comes, absorption, then Krishna Prem, na?
Can I speak?
Huh?
So, I remember another pastime that I think our His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj was telling this, that Prabhupada was such a potent, powerful Acharya that by his supreme mercy, he can award somebody even the spiritual world also. So he tells there that when he was talking to him, he said that now this is a spiritual world, Mayapur. And then Prabhupada said, you take it, enjoy it and develop it, like that. So by his flick of his just wrist, he can award spiritual world to anybody in this world. That is the power of. Otherwise, we have to go through the normal process of chanting, hearing, reading. But then pure devotee is such powerful that without such following of regulative principles of 64 limbs of devotional service, vagara, he can award somebody the highest perfection. That is Kripa Siddhi. So that happens when somebody comes in touch with. That's how I. Roji, any comments?
Well, Krishna Prem had different kind of understanding. Taking Krishna Prasadam is also getting Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem means understanding this one, that this belongs to Krishna. I mean, Krishna Prem also has variety. Do you think somebody who is in Dasaras, they don't have Krishna Prem? They also have. Not that only Gopi, they have Krishna Prem. They also have. If there is no Prem, then why they are serving? So Krishna Prem has different meaning and variety. So, yes, I mean, what I understood, what you are saying, that, I mean, K means Krishna Prem, is like some liking, some love for Krishna. Why we are chanting? Because we have some love for Krishna. That's why we are chanting. And then renunciation will come from chanting and all these things. That's one way to understand. Other way, what Ramrup Prabhu said, yes, if we do all these things, then Krishna Prem will come. Ado, Sraddha, Tado, Sangha, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, the last. So both are right, nothing wrong in that. Krishna Prem has a big, ocean.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't fight over that. Other thing, you were saying that ignorance is something which cannot be destroyed even by time. Krishna said, time, I am the destroyer of everything. So how come ignorance cannot be destroyed?
One shloka is there. One shloka which I don't remember now.
Yeah,
Shloka he described.
Can you read the shloka? I want to hear that, because even by association of devotee, ignorance get destroyed with the association of devotee. right? So association of devotee is also within a time. Krishna is beyond time. And time was lamenting that I cannot serve Krishna. And that's why he appeared here as Krishna. In time. Krishna Janma Ashtami. Ashtami is the time. So in this material world, anything happens, that happens under the supervision of time. Nobody can escape time. Time moves. Time is one who moves everything. Our body is moving from young age to old age. So even clearing the ignorance is also the job of time. Time is clearing the ignorance. Today 1%, tomorrow 2%, 3%, and one day 100%. So who is doing that? Who is there? Time. I would like to read.
Yeah.
I would like to hear that verse. Can you read that?
No, I don't have here now. I'll get it and
Yeah, we can discuss.
yes, yes. Yes. Okay. 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 He has some questions.
Hello. Sir, my name is Mukund. तो just had a small query. Actually, I'm coming new over here.
Okay.
तो हम लोग जब भी नीचे गाड़ी पार्क करते हैं तो वो जो स्लिप मिलता है वो बाय डिफॉल्ट हम लोग डस्टबिन और ये सब में फेंक देते हैं. तो एक्चुअली येस्टरडे ओनली आई रियलाइज दैट उस पर भगवान का भी नाम लिखा हुआ है. तो मतलब इतने दिनों से फेंक रहे हैं तो क्या उसका हम लोगों को कुछ पाप लगेगा या कुछ ऐसा ऐसा बस मतलब आई ऑल्सो जस्ट सॉ नॉर्मली तो अपन लेते पॉकेट में डाल के फिर फेंक देते. जस्ट रियलाइज yesterday ओनली. तो जस्ट वांटेड टू नो एंड इफ पॉसिबल कैन वी रिमूव दैट थिंग फ्रॉम दैट स्लिप इफ पॉसिबल. नथिंग.
So, Devakananda Prabhu is telling that it's a good realization. That it is a very nice that you have thought like this. That shows that you are coming close to Krishna. And that's how we have in our temple, whatever is, wherever Krishna is written or Mahamantra is there or like that, we put that in Nirmalya. One special place is there. Generally, we don't put all such uh, names of Krishna in dustbin. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes.
What do? You are in management somewhere? See, this is management. What he is teaching is management. This has two meanings. One is what you said is right. Other is Krishna name is written there. You can keep in your pocket and take home and keep chanting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
That will benefit you. Don't throw it. It's not for throwing. Taking home.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki.